Hey everybody, Nick Fitzsimmons here today with Sunglo Show Feeds, and I have with me Taylor Fort from Newcastle Genetics. First and foremost, Taylor, tell us a little bit about your operation, where you come from.
So our operation is in Elgin, Oklahoma. We run about 125 sows, crosses mainly, but then we also have some purebreds, some Durocs, and some Yorks. So like our main focus is, at least in the fall and to some degree, I guess in the spring, would be, our big deal is marketing beras to different parts of the country for show projects. We do sell quite a few gilts, but we've always been kind of the type of people that really believe in you got to make your sow herd right, and that's kind of the foundation of everything. And so, we obviously keep some of those gilts to make sows with and stuff, but we still try to get some really good gilts out there to show as well. And we've had good success over the years. We've been very fortunate in terms of the gilt side of things, and then obviously the beras. We've been fortunate enough to have success over the last few years, several years, I should say. But the big deal for us is mainly the bera trade. We still try to focus on the gilt deal a little bit too, but beras, I guess, is kind of more of what we're known for.
Awesome. So today we're going to do a little bit talking about Coast. That's one of Taylor's favorite feeds, and something that we've been pretty excited about since we brought that out over the last couple of years. Taylor, just tell us a little bit about kind of how you go about feeding that, and mainly when you would start feeding it and which ones you would select to go on Coast.
So the name of the game, at least today, so, as far as we can tell, has been everybody's kind of on the fad or the train to feed hogs that are older, and hogs that maybe grow slower, or that you don't push the whole way there. That's where we found a lot of results with Coast, with the Sunglo Coast, is that you just Sunglo Coast doesn't allow those pigs, they don't seem to grow as fast on it. They grow just slower, and they're more moderate in terms of their muscle and their shape, and I think that's a really good thing in terms of just for guys who are interested in feeding hogs and feeding them slow. That seems to work for us very well. In terms of when do you start them on it, I mean, that's going to have to be the feeder's decision themselves. The Sunglo feed is so nutritious and so high quality that in the younger stages it seems like they get everything they need out of it, as much as you could ask in terms of what they can digest and what they can put to use. And so you can get hogs now to where you can get them sell ready super fast, and the Sunglo Coast kind of counters a little bit of that in the fact that it allows those hogs not to maybe overdo it, or for feeders to overdo it with the pigs that they have. And so they actually kind of it's named Sunglo Coast. That's basically what you're doing, is you're coasting them along and keeping their structure right, keeping their muscle modest in them before you get ready to prime them there towards the end. And so we've seen a lot of a lot of results in terms of the Sunglo Coast, just being able to slow those hogs down, keep them from gaining super fast, or just kind of slow playing them the whole way. That's worked really good for us. We can start those hogs depending on the type of hog you're buying and your goals and your intentions as a breeder, or excuse me, as a feeder. You can start those things as early as their gut can kind of handle the transition to that Sunglo Coast. Maybe that's 70, 80 pounds or 100 pounds, 120 pounds. It just kind of depends on the pig. But those hogs that we've fed over the years, the last year or so on Coast, we've been very happy with it. We've got something that's a big part of our program for show beras, and then also just for kind of toning them down and keeping them going at a moderate rate. So.
Awesome. And you kind of touched on it, but just briefly, what would that hog look like that you think would be a prime candidate for Coast?
If you're looking at hogs that you want to have on Coast, what we've seen the most results with is hogs that obviously do have muscle. I mean, it's 2019. Muscle is not hard to get anymore. Yeah. It's the most heritable trait anyways, and so it's very easy to get that. And I think across, you look at other breeders and other people's pigs, I do, and muscle is not hard to get. It seems like it's obviously the easiest thing to get. So you can kind of, if you're looking for hogs to feed Coast, hogs that have plenty of muscle, have plenty of shape and stuff, they seem to handle that very well. It tones them down. It doesn't melt all their muscle away like some feeds might do, but it does keep their muscle moderate and their shape where it needs to be before you get ready to kind of prime them there at the end.
Awesome. One other thing is just kind of whenever you're starting those things out on Coast, or even later into as you're feeding that feed, what would be just kind of the rate that you're looking at feeding that? And do you ever blend it with anything else?
Yeah, we do blend quite a bit of that there towards the end, and it kind of depends on each hog. Some hogs respond quicker than others to higher protein feeds, whether it's 18G or even 16G. You know, and so we will mix that sometimes with 16G or 18G, depending on what we want to do there in terms of protein levels. And how the hogs come along. You know, you can kind of, some hogs you have to push a little bit and pull them back and just kind of keep going back and forth, where sometimes you wait till the end and you just really kind of go with them. But we definitely like to try to blend a little bit of that with, you know, and kind of see where we're at long term before we really get ready to kind of prime them there at the end. But you know, in terms of amount to feed, I mean, it kind of depends on what you want to do in the stage of the game. If you're holding them, you know, maybe you're not feeding them just all they can eat, but you know, at the end, if you're just trying to kind of slow play them without just necessarily outright holding them, then you know, you can feed them 2 or 3 cups or whatever they'll consume. So.
Yep. Awesome. And then finally, just that's awesome on Coast, but just briefly kind of why you've selected Sunglo as your go-to feed and just kind of what you've seen as you've been feeding it over the last few years.
So we fed Sunglo for years leading up to you know, the kind of the recent surge, I guess, of Sunglo, at least in Oklahoma. It's been a feed that we've always fed and had really tremendous success with, and just a lot of confidence in. The big deal for us is just the consistency, if nothing else. Every baggie opens the exact same. I've never had any quality control issues whatsoever. Everything is exactly how it should be. We can get it very fresh, and the pigs consume it very, very well. You know, I've actually had people from that work for other feed companies and stuff come look at pigs at my place, and you know, there's a pallet of Sunglo feed sitting there, and they have made comments, I guess, in the past of how fresh it smells and just the aroma that it gives off, and you know, in a chip barn, you know, it's not just baby pig feed in there. I mean, there's plenty of smells, but that's the one that sticks out to them, and the comment they're making. So it's been something that we've been very happy with. The quality, the exactness of every single bag has been very good, and then the results have been spectacular. So we're very happy with it.
Awesome. For us here at Sunglo, I've known Taylor a long time, and he's a humble guy, so I would say it's just kind of a final follow-up with this video. These guys raise good ones, they win a lot of shows, and they're a good crew to be with, and so to have them be a part of our Sunglo team is something we certainly appreciate, and thank you for being a part of our business, and we look forward to you continuing on and being successful, so Thank you.